All right, folks, in breaking news, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has issued an executive order declaring gun violence in the Empire State a national disaster. It's the first state in the nation to issue an order like this. It comes ahead of a comprehensive plan to fight gun violence. You and I were talking about this. We're looking at some of the things on there, such as to get illegal guns off the streets, to treat gun violence like it is an emergency public health issue.
Yeah.
There are all kinds of things that
Target hotspots with data and science. 7 things on this list. You just mentioned keeping guns out of the hands of dangerous people. That's number 6. I would think that would be number 1.
Well, keep dangerous people off the streets.
Right.
It would be number 1 of mine.
Yeah.
Rebuild the police-community relationship. Some people would argue that's been damaged by a lot of politicians in this town. And statewide, by the way. This is the Governor Cuomo. And what we're trying to figure out is if this has any concrete substance to it, instead of just a policy position. For instance, when you declare something an emergency, a disaster area, you have access to FEMA funds or FEMA support, that sort of thing. We're trying to figure out whether this has any actual effective usefulness other than just as a political position. So we'll continue to research that for you.
It's an executive order on gun violence declaring it as a disaster emergency. So what does that mean? We'll find out.
I got to be honest, a disaster emergency, I'm not familiar with the term.
We'll look into it.
We will. All right, a new Washington Post ABC News poll shows a majority of Americans are not happy with President Biden's handling of the southern border. 51% of respondents saying they disapprove, compared to just 33% saying they do approve.
Former President Trump slamming the Biden administration's handling of the illegal immigration crisis during his Save America rally over the weekend.
We will not stop and we will not rest until illegal policies are overturned. And there's so many of them. They work so quickly. Under my administration, we stood up to the Open Borders lobby, and it is a big and powerful lobby, and nobody knows why. How the hell is this good for our country? People coming in, they're releasing them from prisons, they're criminals at the highest level, murderers, drug dealers.
Well, President Trump visited a section of the border, of course you'll remember that, where officials say that crossings are 230% higher and 800 miles away from that area. The vice president's trip was instead to El Paso.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.